Cheeky butt, do you want to learn how to shake them around? Come on down to Pooty Boot Booty Toot Toot Boot Camp, where we'll give you lessons on twerking, shaking, dropping, waggling, rattling, swanging, tangling, and jazz squaring that wiki dumper. You want to be a twerky sandwich? Just $3. Not $3 a week or $3 a day. Just $3. I want a Whopper.
Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Friday, January 13th, 2023. Spooky. This is The Drop. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory, and alongside me, it's the bearded one, my Top Shot Hot Boy, Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-yo! And over yonder, making the magic happen, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is. Here we are. No Tassie today. He's up in the Great White North, playing drinking games with his high school buddies. I'm jealous.
Me too.
They're like drinking, booze from a straw or something like that. It's like they're drinking Olympics. So good luck to Tass and whoever gets partnered up with up there. So yeah, just the three of us here and a special guest coming in a second. Shout out to the stream team joining us live right now on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment away, share the show. Last I checked, we were something like 19 people away from 60,000 subs. That's it.
It is close. It could happen mid-show.
Oh, wow.
16 people now.
16 from 60,000 subs on YouTube. Let's do it.
Exciting.
Yeah, let's do it during this show on the Drop Podcast. Get your No Dunks merch over at nodunks.com and send in your questions and comments to nodunks@theathletic.com or tweet them in at NoDunksInc. That's INC on the end. Okay, on today's Drop Podcast, you are taking over Tass's duty of giving us the worst of the week nominees. You got a good batch for us?
An incredible batch of candidates.
Okay, great.
I feel bad that Tass has to miss it. He would have loved to talk about
He picked a horrible Friday to head up north, because we got great worst of the week nominees. We're going to look at the latest fan returns when it comes to the All-Star starters. We got our second batch yesterday. We got Tweet of the Night. We got Rapid Fire Fun. But first, we got a special guest on the horn. He's an NBA analyst and writer and editor at The Athletic, who specializes, honestly, in the X's and O's. And he's fantastic at it. He's the author of this book right here, Spaced Out, How the NBA's Three-Point Revolution Changed Everything You Thought You Knew About Basketball. It is Mike Prada, again, from The Athletic. Welcome to No Dunks, Mike. What's up, man?
Hey, welcome. Thanks for having me. What kind of drinking game involves a straw? Am I stupid, or should I, am I missing out on something?
I want to say they maybe fill up like an ice cube tray with booze, and then it's like you're bad.
No.
You're not. No,
it's a chalice.
It's a chalice.
He said it was a chalice. They're in teams. There's two guys. They each have a straw. And you're both sucking out of the same chalice against another team who also has a chalice.
Okay, and it's like three beers in this chalice.
There's three beers in the chalice, and everybody wins. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
Kind of looks. Is this kind of like the spaghetti, like two people eating spaghetti and they're that sort of thing?
It's called Lady and the Tramp, is what the name of the drinking game is, I think.
Tass comes back every year, says, I kissed Dave Sentence right on the mouth. Happens every time.
It was Mike Nomi one time.
It's true.
Well, this sounds fun. I wish I was there.
I know.
I'm happy to be here too.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here, Mike. Let's start with the book. And I guess the first question is when did you get this idea to write this book? And we'll get into how it's perfectly timed, this book dropping and with the wild scoring explosion. But how long ago did you start thinking there was something here to sort of sink your teeth into?
Yeah, it was a bit of a unique process. The day I got furloughed from SB Nation, which was sometime in 2020 during the beginning of the pandemic, I got an email from Triumph saying, hey, we're looking for someone to do an X's and O's book. What do you think? And I had no concept that I wanted to do a book. So it kind of happened there. As far as why I wanted to do it this way, I had done a video for SB Nation maybe back in 2018, I want to say, about when there was sort of one big scoring explosion, about just look at the impact of all this space on the floor. It was right before the playoffs. And ever since then, it's all I could see when watching a game, just how far it was spreading out. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's sort of why I didn't want to, the idea of teach people X's and O's of basketball felt really intimidating, but this felt a little bit more focused. So That was about 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, maybe like May, June, something like that. The day I got furloughed, it was just crazy timing. And I think I started really kind of working in earnest on it in August of 2020 and turned it in March of 2022. So that's kind of the timeline. And really the hardest part was just like figuring out what I wanted to include and how to keep it focused. Because, this book could have been 5 volumes. And it was just hard to figure out maybe 10 volumes. And there's inevitably people you're going to leave out. So who were the most important characters and what was the structure of the story? That was what took the most time, honestly.
Well, you get to a lot in this book, so kudos to you. But it's like, especially for some dummies like me or us, can I include you in the dummies conversation, Trey Kirby?
Oh, I'm very dumb. Yes,
yeah,
thank you.
You do an incredible job, Mike, and you've always done this of like the X's and O's, like breaking it down and making it make sense when it can be somewhat confusing. You even have like cool, like sort of coaching diagrams in this book, which caught me by surprise, which was really fun. And like, some people are visual learners, so it's sort of cool to see the moving pieces when you're talking about the X's and O's. You cover obviously the explosion of 3-point scoring in Spaced Out, but there's also like chapters on the rise and fall and sort of rise again of zone defenses. There's a topic, or a chapter I should say, on spatial awareness and just sort of like maybe we're in the golden age of passing. There's things about the tighter whistle and the the impact that defense plays on all of this. Like, do you have a favorite chapter within Spaced Out?
Ooh, I would say that's a good question. I feel like I'm answering, do you love your children? Which child do you love the most?
Right.
So, but I would say the one you talked about was spatial awareness, the chapter 9 and the passing golden age is up there. That one took the longest to write, because honestly, I spent so much time looking at like academic studies of how our eyes perceive things that I just was so drowned in them. And I had to be pulled out by like various people would be like, you're looking at too many of these. And so the act of that whole narrative of that chapter coming together, where you're talking about the impact of more space on the floor, allowing you to see more things, but then also the like ability to see more things and the pattern recognition being totally different and how that's affected players. There are a lot of different elements to tie together. And I mean, I hope I did that one well, but that's one's my favorite. The other one I really liked was chapter 11, the sort of rise of the Euro step, 2-step, traveling, carrying, like kind of how we just changed dribbling chapter. That's chapter 11, I want to say. Those two were a lot of fun to write because I felt like those were two that have not been talked about as much.
Yeah.
You had to kind of get to, okay, here's like kind of the big stuff. Here's sort of the 3-point element. Here's like pace and space. Here's like kind of the technical details of defense and whatever. But then you had a little more time to really dig into what the players are doing. And I really enjoyed that part of it.
When you're doing and reading these academic studies about spatial awareness and pattern recognition, did it have an effect on you personally? Are you noticing things more often in your everyday life?
Yes. So there's a line in the spatial awareness chapter that's literally me recounting the process of typing a book chapter in a library while seeing books. So yes, it's like kind of eerie and creepy.
Well, we had another guy in the NBA last night, Damian Lillard, came in a loss to the Cavs. He goes for 50 though. I believe it's our 15th 50-point game by 13 different players this season alone. We just hit the midseason halfway point. This NBA scoring explosion. Mike, again, it ties perfectly with this book. What the hell is going on? And is it going to continue in your mind? And like, is it just going to go up and up and up? Or will there be a drastic rule change to try and like rein it in a bit? What do you think?
Well, I think short of a rule change, it is going to go up, first of all. In some ways, like, this is a really simple story. Like, in some ways, like, we're kind of diving into all the reasons, and like, I'm looking at after doing this book, and I'm like trying to check myself to be like, is this because I spent a whole 2 years writing a book on it, or is this really this simple? It's like when the court was once this big. We're on YouTube. I can do this.
Oh yeah,
yes. But for the audio listener, Mike has his hands about a foot apart.
Yeah, it was once this big, and then because they shoot threes really far away, the surface area of the court is this big.
Right.
Hands much further apart now.
Yep.
Yes, thank you for the play-by-play. This is very helpful. And you don't have more players to fill it, so there's still 5 players that got to fill this space. It's going to be easier they have to cover more space. So it's going to be easier to move within that.
Right.
And then you add in that the shot is worth one more point. To me, it's like just sort of almost self-evident. Like, we're going to have better scoring. When, like, if you play capture the flag and then all of a sudden they said, actually, the boundaries of the field are like over here instead of over here, it's going to be easier to get the flag.
Right. More room to operate. Yeah.
Like, it's sort of fairly, to me, that's like kind of the simple part. The interesting part, though, that I think is a little more complicated, and I cover in chapter 3 a little bit, is how is it possible that superstars are doing more, taking more shots, higher usage, this whole heliocentrism phrase, to borrow Seth Partnow's terminology. Yet it's also true that, like, role players are more involved and there's more ball movement and player movement. Like, how can those both be true? And that's sort of what chapter 3 wrestles with, this idea of, you know, because the superstar and because of zone defense, and it's not just a one-on-one game as simply as it was maybe before the illegal defense rule in 2001, the superstar kind of now has more of an exponential indirect impact on the game rather than a very simple, like, we throw the ball to Shaq, everybody clears out, Shaq goes one-on-one. If he's double teamed, he throws to the open man. There's like more complexity to it, which has sort of allowed the superstar to simultaneously be more indirectly impactful and potentially directly impactful, while also allowing everybody else more time to play. And that's the thing I wrestle with in chapter 3. And I think you're seeing a lot of that this year with, it's particularly individual scoring explosions that are happening, right? Like more 50-point games, all the stars. That's, I think, the trend. And, you know, that's, I guess, a simple and complicated answer to the question.
Yeah. And most people would consider that fun, you know, these 50-point games, 60-point games, 71-point game from Donovan Mitchell. But there is like this counter of, is this good for the league or the sport? Like, well, what's your opinion, Mike? Like, are you enjoying this? You want to see more of it, or can it be a little too much of a good thing? What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have written a book about it.
Fair.
But I understand. Here's the thing that I think is happening, and because it was such a sudden change in style of play, like, I don't think people realize that literally 3-point attempts have doubled in like less than 10 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there is like sort of the longer tail, like gradual change, but really we're in a spike that started in 2014, and like the game is unrecognizable from what it was even then. You know, when you think of where the players stand and where they cut and how it just sort of presents itself on the TV if you kind of take a wider view. So in that sort of situation, like, imagine like you watch one thing for your whole life and then all of a sudden it's a completely different thing. I would feel weird, and there would be a part of you that's like, wait, I like the thing I already watched.
Right. Right.
I want to go back to that. And I think just the sudden nature of that. The other thing I think that's happening is that it's so fast that I think paradoxically it's harder to follow, because if you're sitting down watching a game, you're not, let's say you're watching a full game, you're now watching what, like 10, 15 more possessions than you were 10 years ago, probably more than that if you were for 20 years ago. It's jarring. It looks weird. So I think anytime something looks different, people are going to wonder if it's good, because we like what we like. That's just sort of human nature. So that's my thought process there. So whether it's good long-term or bad long-term, I think it's tough to say, but I can understand like the feeling of like, wait, what the hell is this?
Right.
It just looks different.
Yeah.
This is not the same sport I watched.
Yeah. No, it's a good point. And it's changed. I mean, look, it's changed in the time we've been doing a podcast.
Yeah.
When you think about it,
yeah.
15 years ago, it was a different game. Do you think we'll see like a 4-point line, or, allowing the defense to be more physical or go back to hand check, whatever? Like, do you think there will be a rule change like that? And do we need one, or do you want one?
First of all, no, I don't think we need one. I think sometimes part of it is that it's only been 10 years, so I think we just sort of have to let this play out a little bit. I mean, last year offense was down a little bit I think there was a lot of talk about the new rules and less fouling and all this. I thought it was a little overplayed, but, offense was down a little bit. This year, I think you've seen a response by offenses to say, hey, okay, you're going to just guard two areas that are this far apart from each other, the 3-point line, the basket. We're going to use that space in between a little bit more. Maybe not in terms of shot attempts, but in terms of how who we're bringing into that area. Like we'll pluck that low hanging fruit. That to me that's a key trend that's happening. That is a response. Let's give it time to see how the defense responds to that. Like, I like the natural back and forth. I think we need that. As far as how likely it is, I think it will depend on like kind of just interest levels. To me, a 4-point line doesn't really solve much because, first of all, there's going to be more scoring, right?
Yeah,
because 4 is more than 3, which is more than 2, right? Second of all, they're already standing. Like, the whole point of a 3-point line is to kind of force people to spread out so that everybody's not in the phone book and everybody's not punching each other in the face and trying to, just play so physically that it's just it's a slow experience. Like, that's the whole point of a 3-point line. Without it, people wouldn't stand far away. They're already standing at 4-point range. So, and there's only so much more room you can go before you get to a backcourt violation. So I don't really see what that would solve. To me, the more interesting potential rule change that I would think about is, what if you didn't have an arc for a 3-point line? What if it was just the corner was not worth 3 points?
Right.
Or what if, this is an idea I've heard that I think is really interesting, is what if you had, how you have like 3 seconds in the lane? What if you had like a little box in the corner and said you can't stand here for more than 3 seconds?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Because part of what's happening is that it's not just the outer edge of the court further out that's spreading. It's that more people are standing on top of the baseline. So both barriers are spreading to create this larger surface area. So what if you did something maybe to discourage people from standing at the other outer border of the 3-point line of the court?
Right.
How would that change the game? That one's somewhat intriguing to me, but to me, I just it's all happens so fast. Like, sometimes you just got to let nature play its course.
Sure.
And that's what I would recommend.
And see how the defense adapts. I think you wrote this in an Athletic article recently about this whole scoring explosion. I thought it was a great point. You said that the most important lesson from this like 3-point revolution, it's about the effect of taking all these threes and not actually the threes themselves. So the whole point of launching, 40, 50 threes in a game is to present the threat to the defense to stretch themselves just too thin, open up more space for then the layups, the driving lanes, the mid-range shots and stuff like that. And I think even myself, I get caught up in it's just like, take a bunch of threes, hit a bunch of threes. But it's actually just having 5 guys out there that are a threat to even knock down a 3 at a fairly consistent rate. The defense has to respect it and therefore get out of the paint, and there's more room to operate. Yeah,
I mean, that's exactly it. And you look at what's really driving this year's explosion, it's better 2-point shooting. Every range of the court, the 2-point zone of the court is higher. You're shooting better on layups, better on floaters, better on short mid-range, better on long mid-range. The reason is fairly simple. If you spread the defense out, there's fewer people in those areas, so the shots are easier. So, yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. And, it's sort of like kind of this funny thing that I think shot charts in some ways have maybe blunted this point too much, where if you're just looking at a shot chart, you don't really get the effect of the threat that we're talking about. I mean, Mike D'Antoni used to say it all the time. All we wanted to do was just get layups. I mean, that's what it is.
Right.
But if everybody's standing in the paint because you're not going to shoot a 3 because you're afraid that it's a bad shot, how are you supposed to get layups? So, I mean, to me, I think that's really what it comes down to. And I actually think that one of the reasons that offense is up this year is I think that the league has finally fully figured that out. The rivalry between Houston and Golden State, I think, we've gotten a couple of years past that. And the lessons of both of those teams have trickled down to the whole league, where you had Golden State was more about the movement element of it. Houston was more about the math and the spread element.
Yeah.
You combine those, you get what you get this year. And so, yeah, I think that's the main point that I think there's also a greater theme that's sort of present in that, is that instead of worrying about chaos, let's embrace it. And I think that was something that the NBA had a lot of trouble getting their heads around. And I think now they finally have their heads around it. And as a viewer, I can understand being like, well, I don't know what I'm seeing here. There's almost too much to see. So I can understand that being a harder thing to follow, and maybe you don't like that. But that's what is really happening, is like this chaos element, like let's gain power from it instead of being afraid of it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's get into some NBA midseason awards. Let's hear your opinion on at least the frontrunners right now as we've hit the halfway point. We've talked a lot about them, but MVP, Mike, maybe you got a top 3. I don't know. Do you get an official vote? Are you
not
an
that I know
voter?
of?
No,
I have never had a vote.
Wow, you should. Let's try and make that.
I have advised official voters before.
Oh, wow.
I have
I've
not
chimed
received
in.
one.
Okay, close enough in our
The
books.
invisible hand.
Yes,
right.
I like that way. They get the blame. I just feel like
exactly.
better.
Yeah, there's no Google spreadsheet with Mike Prada's name and his votes on it.
No.
People can get upset with you at the
Who
end.
gave Kuzma an MVP vote?
Yeah, exactly.
Prada, classic.
So who do you have as MVP? Like right now? I mean, I know we can't like predict the future, but who's at the top of your MVP leaderboard?
I think there's 3 names. It's
Okay.
Jokic, it's Doncic, it's KD. I had Jason Tatum in there for a while. Here's an interesting question that I've been thinking about over the last decade. What do you guys think about this? Is it bad to win MVP? The last MVP whose team won the title was Steph Curry in 2015, I believe.
Okay, same season you're talking. Yeah, interesting.
Right. We've had a lot of these MVPs of the kind of Russell Westbrook, kind of carrying a pretty good team
Right.
variety. Honestly, that's what Jokic has been the last 2 years.
Yeah.
In some ways, this Jokic year to me is like the more pure MVP season, the purest MVP season he's ever had. Where he's not always putting up these gargantuan numbers. He can, but there are also other games where he takes 5 shots and goes 10, 14, and 13. To me, that's I think that's the element of the MVP that I like the most, where you can make the same impact on a game somewhat indirectly than directly. So, I think that's why I have Jokic right now. It's Jokic, Durant, Doncic in that order. Luka has the best stats, but I do think that his impact is always so direct that it's, somewhat against the spirit of the award in my head. But it's just an interesting, larger macro trend. Before Steph in 2014, who was the last MVP to win the title?
LeBron.
In one of his?
Yeah.
Yep.
LeBron.
2013.
Yeah. Whereas in the past, it used to be Jordan won how many MVPs?
Right.
Kareem won how many? I mean, the 2 years that Giannis won the MVP, the Bucks flamed out in the playoffs.
Right.
The year he doesn't win the MVP, they win the championship.
Right.
So I don't know. There's so much that goes into that, but it's sort of is this even an award you want to win?
Well,
I think people still do want to win MVP, but the general narrative 10 years ago was best player on the best team. You are in the mix. And Mike, you're listing your top 3 MVP candidates. It's hard to argue with Jokic, Doncic, and KD, but Jason Tatum's the best player on the best team so far through the first half of the season, and it feels like he's losing steam as an MVP candidate right now. So I definitely agree with what you're saying, that the game has changed with regards to voting.
Yeah.
And part of it too is if you have a lot of different threats, you're necessarily going to limit the statistical impact of the best player. If you have, look at the Mavericks in particular. They centralize everything through Luka, and they're 5 games over 500 now. I think after last night's crazy game, that's obviously not they would want to not do that, but. What would happen if Luka Doncic only took 90% of those plays and maybe some of the other guys got a little more involved? Could the whole be worth more than some of its parts? This is all what basketball has been, but I think this new era with the spacing, with the sort of need to kind of think less in one-on-one terms with illegal defense now being not a thing anymore, it's forced us to kind of consider, does 1 + 1 always equal 2 in basketball? And if so, how do we kind of quantify the best players when maybe the numerator of their impact? Does this make any sense? This analogy is like kind of weathered. Multi-layered. I know.
We're with it.
But like the numerator of their impact is very big, but like, is it exponential?
Right. And like,
that's the question.
I mean, that's look, I'm not the one to answer that. I'll tell you that right now, but it's a hell of a question to think about. With Jokic too, specifically, you had him at the top right now. A lot of people, I think, would in the preseason and I was just as guilty. We're going. There's no way he can win a third MVP in a row. We just will not allow it. He's a great player. He's an all-time great player, but he's not on that level, not having won a title, I think, yet. Right. And now that's like gone. It feels like the opposite's now happening. We're like, well, if he's on the best team in the West, then why not?
This is exactly the confusion point. Why was Jokic ineligible? One was because of what you're talking about, but two was, he's got his healthy teammates again. He doesn't have to do as much.
Right.
Right. So, like, how does that make sense? It's like, it's a weird thing. I think it's a strange quirk in the MVP. And the other award that I think is like kind of in a big picture is sort of undergoing some sort of existential crisis a little bit with this is Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay.
Because if defense is increasingly more about covering space rather than players, right? How do you kind of suss out, well, that stop is because of Brook Lopez at the rim versus Drew Holiday on the ball?
Yeah. I mean, look,
and I think
Defensive Player of the Year, it's almost like a team award now, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Like Marcus Smart, I think, is a perfect example last year.
I think that last year's chase was a harbinger of things to come in this award. And you're seeing it this year. I mean, it's sort of funny to have a Defensive Player of the Year in a year where like everyone's scoring. But like, who are your top candidates? You're looking at what? Brook Lopez, because he's really good at one very important thing. Jaren Jackson Jr. kind of occupies the sort of do everything defender that has often won it. Who's the kind of Marcus Smart of this year? Is it like Drew Holiday? Is it
like OG maybe, but the Raptors aren't that good as a team. Yeah.
Right. Is it and like what about like someone like Nick Claxton, who is amazing when he plays, but he only plays 25 minutes a game? These are sort of, I don't know if like in the past I think it was a lot easier to say like, well, the guy who's the best at stopping the superstar one-on-one, or the guy who gets the most blocks. It was a little simpler to sort of suss out their impact. Now, because the game is just so spatial, I don't know what is most important. Defense is almost exponential now too.
Yeah.
So to me, it's just a very interesting. I'm very curious to see how it plays out. I think I would probably pick Jackson right now.
Okay.
Because I think he can impact the most areas indirectly. Like he's got the greatest shadow impact, which I think is most important. I might have picked like Anthony Davis if he stayed healthy for the same reason, but I don't know. I mean, like, how can you say Drew Holiday is not super important to what the Bucks do? How do you know who's more important between Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez? Like, how do I figure that out?
Yeah, and then I know it's only one game and it's only 2 minutes from one game, but then like Drew Holiday, like I just watched Jalen Brunson light his ass up. You know, it's like, because it's very, very difficult to stop these guys. You know, you get a pick, there's room to operate, and it's like there's only so much you can do. So yeah, that's a tough one. Okay, so you got Jaren Jackson Jr. right now. That's fair. What about Most Improved? That's also a weird award where it's sort of gone over the last couple of years to like I think Trey's called it the MVP consolation award. It's like
a little bit
MVP
Junior.
MVP Junior, yeah. It's like you took one hell of a leap. You're almost in the MVP, or you are in the MVP conversation on the outside a little bit. So here's MIP. But what do you think the front runner right now, and even your thoughts on the award, Mike?
Yeah, I think usually I agree. It's sort of a nebulous award. This year, I think it's kind of a clear winner. Ironically, it's Lauri Markkanen. Because like the challenge you have with this award is, if you're young, you're supposed to improve. One.
Yep.
So how do you weigh that? So that, like, you look at someone like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, he's obviously taken a huge leap, but we knew he was good. We just had to see him play a little bit.
Well,
so is this leap to 30 points a game on a bad team or pretty deep, like kind of spunky team?
Yeah.
Like, I love watching the Thunder play. I love watching Shai. Like, is that worth more than, Lauri Markkanen going from a role player to like a first option? I don't know. And then, so there's the age element, there's the opportunity element, and then there's sort of this guy should have been playing a lot more anyway, and now he's just getting the minutes element. But weirdly to me, Lauri Markkanen sort of checks all boxes of guy who's old enough where you wouldn't expect this leap to happen at this stage. Guy in a new role, but like kind of still thriving better in a more expanded role. He checks that box, and the new team element where he's got to do something totally different from what he's ever done in his career. So weirdly, this year I think is pretty clear cut. But in general, yeah, I mean, some of these awards I think are nebulous by definition. So we always say, "Oh, I can't figure out what the criteria is," but like it's kind of the whole point, right?
Yeah. No.
So you got to choose which word in the name of the award is most important to you. So for me, most improved player. it's most right now, because I think Markkanen improved literally the most
Right.
from where he was at compared to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai was putting up great numbers when he was on the court for the Thunder. He's obviously taken a step forward. But Markkanen wasn't even the most exciting piece that the Jazz were getting back in the trade.
Right.
People were more excited they were getting Colin Sexton. They're like, oh, look at this. He might have...
This guy scored 24 a game one year. Yeah.
Exactly. They're thinking he might be able to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, Mike. I think Markkanen being on his third team now, he's kind of just been a standstill three-point shooter, and now he can do stuff off the dribble. I think it would be awesome also for your book if he won, because the Jazz spacing things out is a huge part of the reason that Markkanen has so much room to operate inside.
Yeah, and they're also putting him on the move more, so it's like Will Hardy does some weird, like, kind of cool sets to kind of get him and dribble handoffs, and yeah, it's sort of just different. He's a different type of player, but yeah.
There will be votes definitely for SGA though, especially the way
doubt.
MIP has gone. Like John Morant's, like winning it last year is,
I saw an
sort of
interesting
insane.
case.
Yeah.
I saw an interesting case from, I think, Michael Pino on The Ringer that it should be Luka Doncic.
Oh God, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, we did that before. We did that before with Steph Curry in his second MVP season. I remember that. There was like a 3-week window where it's like maybe Steph Curry is also MIP because he's improved on his MVP. Sorry to cut you off.
I'm pretty sure I wrote a piece in 2012 about why KD should win Most Improved. So it's just the same things get repeated over and over.
When you do this long enough, yeah, exactly, that happens. Well, you slipped in Will Hardy. We were talking about the Jazz. Who's your coach of the year, which sometimes is also what's the most surprising team at the midseason point? So who would you go with?
I think there are 3 guys that stand out. I'm not sure who I'd pick right now. One is Joe Mazzulla from Boston. They're the best team, but then you also consider just all the stuff that happened in the preseason.
Yep.
Do you give him a degree of difficulty bump for just sort of coming in unexpected? I think you maybe do. The other one is Jacques Vaughn. Although I do sort of wonder, and I know you guys, we all love Steve Nash as a basketball player, and he did some good things. I do wonder if there's sort of like a value over replacement thing going on there, where like Jacques Vaughn, like maybe Steve Nash was just a lot worse as a coach than we thought.
Right. Yep.
But I do think that Jacques Vaughn deserves a lot of credit. And the third is Willie Green in New Orleans, because one of the guys I work closest with at The Athletic, I added is Will Guillory, who covers the Pelicans for us. And so I've spent a lot of time watching their team and following them. There's this sort of national thought that the key to their improvement is Zion Williamson being MVP quality, coming back, just the star power at the top of the roster. But the truth is that they've played very little time with their best players on the court together. Zion's been in and out of the lineup. Brandon Ingram hasn't played since the 28th of November. They've almost been worse. I think they now are 6-4 because they lost to Boston the other night without both Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
And so what's really happening there is that they've got this core of depth coalescing, these young guys who are coming into their own that somehow fit in together while stealing each other's shots and minutes and all these pitfalls that you would think a young team you would fall apart. Instead, it's working the other way for them. And I think Willie Green deserves a lot of credit for creating that culture. So to me, those are the 3 guys that I would put. I don't know who I'd have winning right now. I think maybe I'd pick Mazzulla just because the team is the best team. But to me, it's those 3 guys and everybody else. No disrespect to Will Hardy, doing a great job, but that team's, like 4 games under 500 now?
Yeah.
Now, let's settle down a little bit.
And then final one here. It's not a real NBA award, but hey, maybe it should be. They could make another crystal vase out of this with like a turd in the middle, I guess. Most disappointing team.
Ooh.
Hence the turd.
Turd in the middle. I was like, where?
I mean, there feels like there are a lot to pick from at the mid-season point here. Who are you going, or maybe who are your top 3 disappointing teams?
Minnesota, I think, is number 1 for me. I was a little skeptical about them taking a leap because I just thought, as great as Rudy Gobert is, it's probably a little rude to call him a system player, but like the way the Jazz setup worked, like it was perfect for what he was good at. It kept him in. It was like one of those like kind of great like 1 + 1 = more than 2 moments where he would look better because of the system and the system looked better because of him. You take him from that to a place where he's kind of got to play in the dunker spot more, and they have a very hyperactive scheme. I just thought that would take a lot longer than people realize. But even despite that, they should be better than what they are. They're so baffling and disappointing. The other one, I think Houston's been kind of disappointing.
Oh wow!
I know there's been a lot of talk of, obviously we expect them to be bad, but like there's a lot of people teeing off on how bad their culture is right now, which I find very interesting. And I didn't expect that. And the last one is the Clippers.
Okay.
The Clippers look, I get it. They've had a lot of injuries, but I've had this lingering worry about them that they're kind of built for 2020, where they actually, now that the league is a little more up on 5 out and that style of play, they need to do more to get to the basket and drive and take advantage of those middle spaces. And, they have to have a little more juice than what they have. And their offense is way down at the bottom of the league. And I don't think that's just because of the guys they missed. I've had this lingering worry about them, and I guess we'll see. Maybe they'll be better in the playoffs, but I'm not so sure.
Well, those are great picks, and thank you for not picking either of our teams in the Bulls
and
Raptors.
Shoot, Toronto, I forgot.
No, let's just move on. Let's just wrap it up. Mike Prada, everyone, thanks for coming up.
You're super kind for not mentioning the Bulls or the Raptors, but that's probably because they're both ahead of the Wizards in the standings. Here's a really hot question for you. Who's going to get the 10th seed in the Eastern Conference between Chicago, Toronto, and Washington?
Call your shot.
Chicago's going 9. Chicago 9, Atlanta 10.
Okay.
There we go.
So Raptors on the outside looking. Hey, Mike, look, thank you so much for jumping on with us here on the Drop Podcast. Spaced Out, guys, again, I got a link there in the YouTube comments. Takes you right to Amazon if you want to grab a copy. It's really, really a fun book. The biggest compliment I can give to this book, Mike, is it will make you a smarter basketball fan. Easily.
Thank you.
And it's you're just you're probably one of the best writers out there when it comes to X's and O's and putting it into a digestible, easy to understand form for the idiots like us. So thanks for coming on. Congrats on the book, and hopefully we'll see you soon. I don't know. We're gonna see you at All-Star Weekend. You going out there?
I don't think so, but we'll see. Maybe Summer League.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Summer League.
No, thank you guys for all the praise. I've been listening to you guys since literally 2005. I think I remember kind of geeking out on the Bucks Pistons playoff preview in 2005 that you guys did. That was the pre-trade era, so it's a real pleasure to be on
That's
here.
when there was only one
doors.
NBA podcast that you were forced to. Mike, thanks so much. Everybody will get spaced out. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, worst of the week nominees. Don't go anywhere.
I personally could get used to not walking into a clothing store ever again. I think the last few years has changed me, and maybe it's for the better. Because I took Stitch Fix's quiz where they determine your style, and honestly, it was pretty fun. They just show you pictures. I like that. You just select. Like that, don't like that. Like that, don't like that. Like that, and it gets from more general to more specific to your style, and it's easy. Just answer a few questions about what you like to wear, what you don't. No top hat, please. Stitch Fix, no thank you. Easy. And how open you are to trying new styles. Then, Stitch Fix's experts, they go to work.
Yeah.
They find items exclusively for you. Every piece is handpicked for you and is unique to your size, style, and in your budget, making it the best way to discover clothes that make you look and feel your best. They send you 5 pieces you try on at home. You do a little fashion show for your loved ones. Keep what you love and send back what you don't. It was easy. Return package was so easy. Big bag, I threw it in there, shoved with a thing I didn't like in there, done. Actually, I did mess up. I forgot to shove one more thing in there. I didn't do a great tape job, so it was easy to get a second thing in there. All good. Send it back. Plus, there's no subscription required. Try once or set up automatic deliveries. There are no hidden fees, ever. Sign up today at stitchfix.com/nodunks to get $20 off your first purchase. That's stitchfix.com/nodunks to get $20 off your first purchase. Limited time offer. Purchase within 2 days of sign up.
If you own crypto and leave it on the exchange where you bought it, sorry, that's a crypt no. We've heard the news lately. Exchanges closed, accounts frozen, SBF, FTX, OMG. We're learning the hard way. Crypto on an exchange is not really in your control. So get yourself a secure crypto wallet and control your crypto yourself. I don't know. How about Zen Go? The simple and secure crypto wallet with everything you need. Some factoids for your consideration. 1, the Zengo wallet is fully recoverable, so say goodbye to lost coins.
Yes.
2, the Zengo wallet is a hacker's nightmare. Zengo uses 3-factor authentication, including 3D biometrics, so no one can access your wallet but you. Got these hackers shaking in their digital boots. Suckers. And 3, Zengo recognizes we're all at different levels of our crypto journey, so they built live support 24/7 with real people directly into the app. Keep your crypto and NFTs safe with next-gen tech the big guys have been using for years, thanks to Zengo. Download the Zengo app from the App Store or Google Play. That's ZNGO and use code NODUNKS to get 0% fees on your first purchase of up to $1,000 when you select Banksa as your purchasing option. That's code NODUNKS for 0% fees on your first purchase via Banksa. Terms and conditions apply. See site for details.
All right, we're back here in the Classic Factory. Yesterday, the NBA revealed the second fan vote returns for the 23 NBA All-Star Game. LeBron, Durant, Steph, and Kyrie remain the leaders at their respective position groups. Not a whole lot has changed, but let's look at them anyway. We'll start in the West. Curry and Luka lead all West guards by a mile. Ja Morant and SGA coming in 3rd and 4th, but they will not be catching either Curry or Luka there. That's fine. Forwards, LeBron, Jokic, and AD are your front court players in the Western Conference. Zion Williamson, 4th among front court players. He's less than 100,000 from AD. Yeah, is that what it is? Good math, man. Yeah. So that gap, it tightened up a little from the first returns, but not a whole lot. So nothing changed really in the West. Any takeaways?
Not too many takeaways in the Western Conference. Kevon Looney passed Kawhi Leonard from 10th to 9th.
Rightfully so, if you ask me.
I think so, too. Yeah. Looney's really been hitting the glass out there. And then a little pleasant surprise, I would say, number 10 in the Western Conference backcourt, De'Aaron Fox making an appearance.
That's nice.
That was one of the surprises from the first returns is that neither of the Kings, him or Sabonis, made the top 10. They got behind Fox here for the second round of voting, so nice to see.
Good stuff. Light the votes. Wait, I mean, that makes it sound like you're burning them.
Beam the votes in.
Beam the votes in. That's better. Hashtag beam the votes for Fox and Sabonis. Okay, in the Eastern Conference, we got Kyrie Irving and Donovan Mitchell. They are the tops amongst the guards. And again, just like the West, pretty significantly there when you get into the actual numbers. Kyrie hitting over 3 million votes. In the front court, keep it going here, we got Durant, Giannis, and Jason Tatum. That's the biggest mover and shaker here of the second fan returns. Those are your top 3 vote getters for the forwards. So Tatum has moved ahead of Joel Embiid for that 3rd place spot, but it's less than 35,000 votes separate the two. And really, look, today is a 3-for-1 day where each fan vote counts 3 times. So really, that's like 13,000 votes separates
Beam 'em in.
the two when you get into it. So any takeaways from the Eastern Conference vote returns?
I mean, the Tatum passing Embiid is pretty significant, I would say, for now, at least until we get to finding out who the starters are. Kevin Durant likely going to miss the All-Star game. So we'll get Giannis, Tatum, and Embiid as the front court regardless.
Oh, yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah.
I would assume they will replace KD with whoever number 4 is in the All-Star voting. But I thought that was interesting to see. I guess maybe not a surprise. I don't know. I guess I would have been surprised that Tatum was behind Embiid the first time around.
Yeah.
So that he passed, not totally surprising. Boston's got a huge fan base, and Tatum's an MVP candidate, just like Embiid is. Also, number 10 in the Eastern Conference frontcourt, Julius Randle from my New York Knicks. Love to see it.
I got a Knicks player.
Yeah. He got in on the vote.
We got one.
Got one and got Derrick Rose as well in the backcourt there.
Too. Sorry.
Yeah. Jalen Brunson next time. I think he's going to be making the top 10. The other interesting thing to me in the Eastern Conference backcourt, Kyrie Irving still number 1 in votes. Donovan Mitchell still number 2 in votes. But during this round of voting, Donovan Mitchell did have more votes than Kyrie Irving. And I assume his 71-point game happened in the mix there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not exactly sure on the timing of it, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Okay. So that's cool. He definitely deserves it. He should probably be the leading vote getter in the Eastern Conference, strictly for on-court stuff.
So we had that YouTube short where we were basically yelling at Knicks fans to, come on, vote for Brunson. What's going on here? How's he not even in the top 10? Are you upset or happy that he's still not in the top 10? And here's why. Upset because they're not listening to us. but not doing their work. He should be in the top 10 when you get into the guards. Or happy because we can post it again.
Exactly. Extending
Run
the
it
bit.
back.
Yeah.
Extend the bit.
I didn't expect it to be evergreen content, but it is until Jalen Brunson makes an appearance. Okay. Let's go, Knicks.
Let's go, Knicks. Come on.
team.
And I say this all the time, but it's worth a reminder. The fan vote accounts for only half of the overall voting when it comes to the starters. Players get 25% of that vote. A panel of media members get 25% of the vote. Final returns released next Thursday. That's it. And then fan voting ends on January 21st. So actually on the weekend there, we will then find out the starters on January 26th. I believe they do that on TNT. They do it as part of their pregame show. So we'll know the 10 starters then, and I'm sure on the following day's podcast, on the Drop podcast on the Friday, we might start building our actual all-star teams. Once you know the starters, I really like making the teams. Yeah. It's like, well, those 10 guys are in. Now let's get to work.
Then we got to talk drafts. So can't wait,
buddy.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Well, that's the final takeaway. Giannis has closed within about 42,000 votes of KD for the top spot among all Eastern Conference players. So, Giannis isn't, playing all that well right this second. He was putting up 40 and 20, so he was bound to fall off a little bit. But will he overtake KD to be drafting against LeBron James once again? Or will KD, even if he doesn't play, like last year, be drafting against LeBron? We'll see.
We shall see.
Giannis
We shall see.
Is what we're getting at. All right, let's get to worst of the week.
Ladies and gentlemen, the worst of the week.
Oh, Skeets, we got a sizable crop today. Take a look at this crop. Our first candidate, Dasani Water.
What?
Everybody knows Dasani Water. The absolute worst bottled water.
It's salty. Ugh.
I was doing research into why it tastes so bad. They filter out all the minerals and put in their own mix. Give us nature's minerals.
Yeah, why are you messing with water?
Yeah, why are you messing with water? That's the question, Dasani. But if you needed even more validation for why you think, listener, viewer out there, why you certainly think Dasani is the worst water, Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer took a sip of a bottle of Dasani after a win against the Hawks. Got bitter bud face from it. Ugh.
Nope.
Did not like that. One sip. Probably heard it fizz when it opens. Why's water fizz? No one knows. Take a look. Oh, this Dasani? No, thank you. Bring me an Aquafina, please.
Dasani, Coca-Cola product?
Yes, I hate to say it here in Atlanta. I know. I heard you had helicopters over your house the other day.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on the lookout for them coming by my house a little bit later, talking smack about a local Atlanta product. So Dasani Water.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, the worst of the week for a long time, but finally an NBA worst of the week.
Yeah. I'm going away to, it's like a cottage, I guess, a lodge this weekend with a bunch of friends to celebrate another friend's birthday. And, you always got to ask, or I feel like I have to ask, like, can we drink the water? Like, do I need to bring bottle? I hate buying bottled water. Like, I loathe it. Like, I will drink tap water unless, like, I'm going to, like, get sick from it. And I found out we're in the clear.
Oh,
Nice.
I mean, it's called, like, something Creek Lodge. I'm like, I hope we're getting the water right out of the creek.
It's a valid question, though.
But you have
if
to
you're
ask
going to
it.
a cabin or
Yeah,
a cottage,
totally.
Sometimes the water's coming right from the lake.
Yeah.
You can't drink
But
it.
like 24 people, it makes me feel icky. 24 people showing up is a huge lodge. We're going to have a blast all weekend, but it's like, you know how much water we have to bring?
Oh, yeah.
Like, obviously a ton of booze is going to come, but there's going to be so much water. It's like, oh, and then I'm looking at just all the crushed bottles everywhere. And so thank God, straight from the tap, baby.
Single-use plastics.
Yeah.
Worst of the week. Every single week. Get yourself a water bottle and fill it up with some water,
Yeah.
people, okay?
There you go.
Our next candidate, Dwayne Dedman. Proposing a rule here. We'll have to see if Tass agrees to it. But if you smack a therapy gun onto the court during an NBA game, you get a nominee. And that's what Dwayner did on Tuesday night while the Heat were making a whole bunch of free throws. Got into an argument with his coach, Eric Spoelstra. Really gave this Theragun a whack.
Yeah, like it arced
It
high
arcs.
into the air. Yeah.
It must have gone 10 feet in the air or something like that. Went halfway across the court. The Miami Heat, in consultation with the NBA, did suspend Dwayne Dedman for one game without pay for conduct detrimental to the team. I assume they had to have this conversation with the NBA because there's probably not anything in the collective bargaining agreement about when a player hits a therapy gun onto the court. This is a one-time affair. But at the very least, Dwayne Dedmon is now the NBA's Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore, of course, is the only guy to ever take off his skate and try to stab somebody with it.
Oh.
Dwayne's the only guy to ever smack a therapy gun onto an NBA court.
Did Rudy Gobert get a game when he hit the cup or whatever he hit?
He smacked a cup or like a gum container or something.
Or was it the chalk? Was it the chalk container?
He
smacked something outside.
Some kind of basketball accoutrement.
Did he get a
sitting
game
there.
for that?
That's a good question.
I mean, that one went more into the crowd, I think, or maybe the bench area. I'll look it up.
Yeah, it could have gone sideways. But I also, just because we've been talking about how much a therapy gun weighs,
Yeah,
Tass speculated 20 pounds.
which we thought was way too much.
Yeah, I mean, Dwayne Dedmon's strong, but I don't know if he could smack a 20-pound weight that far. 3 pounds.
Oh, yeah. That makes,
Still would hurt if
makes
it
a
hit you
lot
in the
more
shoulder.
sense.
Yeah.
See, I actually thought it would maybe be a little bit heavier than that.
Yeah. I kind of would like to get one.
Well, I mean, I should have one as,
Yeah, you
as
should
a
have
runner.
one. You
but
should have one.
they're not cheap. You said it. Who brought it up?
They're
They're
like $400.
they're very expensive.
Yeah, I'm sure the one Dwayne has was. I think there's like a $600
Top of the
model
line.
as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He doesn't mess with his muscles.
Do you think he broke the gun?
Oh, I don't know, actually, because they're pretty...
I mean, their whole point of them
Yeah.
is they're pretty indestructible.
Yeah. Great question. I've seen guys
Muscles.
smack things on the side like that 100 times. I think it was just bad luck that it flew into the...
Yeah, he
Yeah,
really
that
like
is true.
he turned around to like almost purposely hit it onto the
Yeah.
court.
Yeah.
He should have just knocked it over or like
Yeah, just knock stuff over.
smash it to the ground.
I like that it's the closest thing to a dildo that's ever been thrown on to the court by a player.
Interesting. You believe a Theragun is the closest thing?
Well,
to
it's
a
not
dildo.
It's not a dildo, but
That might be painful.
The closest.
Well, maybe not.
Closest
I
to
guess.
though.
Yes, I don't think Rudy got a game for angrily slapping. It was a water bottle, or it was water. He was upset. He was upset.
Just water.
He was like, I can't believe this water's in a plastic container here.
Sounds like me. If I spill at home and it's just water, sorry, it's just water. That'll evaporate eventually.
Oh, Nora spilt water last night on her bedside table.
Ooh, that's the worst.
She had to get up, clean it
Oh,
up.
oh,
4 in the
that's a tough
morning. got Luna going nuts, of course. It was. I mean, it made a big sound.
Well, you got your phone on there. A book,
Oh, that's right.
perhaps.
I think it
Dangerous.
was a domino. I didn't ask her specifically, but I think it was a domino of a phone into something into the water.
That's why you need Trey's.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if we're gonna be able to do that for every single worst of the week nominee, but I would say maybe get a water bottle.
Well, yes, but also you drop it every second episode on the show here, and it makes a giant thud.
Imagine Dwayne Dedmon smacking that onto a
If
court.
you ever hear that during one of our podcasts, it means Trey was reaching and dropped his giant water bottle, which
Hey, that's
that
not
thing
true,
weighs 20 pounds.
Yeah,
Did
that
you
weighs
hear
more
that?
than a Theragun.
Yeah.
Sometimes the noise you hear is my leg hitting the stand under here. Also wasn't sure what to do with this, but the Heat get at least a worst of the week mention for the resolution to their arena name.
Yes.
Some court things just finished up, so now they can take FTX off their arena.
Okay.
And they're now going to be calling their arena the arena.
Okay. I don't mind it.
I know, it's kind of awesome. So it's not totally worst of the week, but it had to get some sort of a mention. The arena. We're just
Right.
going back to calling things what they are.
But not only is it not going to be named FTX Arena anymore, obviously that the decal comes off the floor. That's one of my
I
least
assume so,
favorite
yeah.
logos. Remember, I've always said it looks like a printer, like a dot matrix printer gone
Yeah.
wrong.
Yep.
Hated it. And somebody pointed out like they thought people were slipping on it in Miami.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean they can't get anything right. This FTX. So it's called the Arena.
It's called the arena for now. Surely there will be another
It's a
sponsor.
placeholder, obviously.
Placeholder.
Well,
Till
I know
no dunks come in.
Bang Bros put in a bid once again.
They did.
We'll see if
Speaking
it's
of
successful this
dildos,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean that could change, JD, if Bang Bros actually gets the gets the deal.
I think now that we've hit 60,000 YouTube subs, that we should maybe
What?
throw in a bid to name the arena.
All right.
No Dunks Arena there in Miami. Thank you to everybody. 60,000 subs. We said we would do it by All-Star Weekend. We've done it well before that. Now we got to get to 70,000 before All-Star Weekend.
Okay.
Power levels 8,000. How? Wait, it's over 9.
What is going on here? In real time. anime here.
It's over.
60,000.
Jerome, you crazy son of a bitch. 60,003 if we're being exact here. Thank you. Oh, wow. Didn't know that. Sorry, I didn't mean to catch you by surprise there, JD, but way to have that racked up and ready to go.
Oh, yeah, it was behind the scenes, me and Jerome going back and forth, but it's all Jerome. So
awesome.
Amazing.
It's all Jerome, and it's definitely an anime. I have no idea what it is, but I bet a lot of people will.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
We'll get some
Do you know
comments.
that one?
No.
Okay.
Wait, that looked like Dragon Ball Z, actually.
That's what
Dragon Ball Z, I know that one.
Yeah.
All right.
It looked like it, but I don't know it well enough to
That's
know.
awesome. Okay. We are going to put a bid in to name the arena in Miami No Dunks Arena. And they can never dunk. That'll be a stipulation. Sorry,
That'd be
Bam.
awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Well, they got Kyle Lowry. They got Hero. Like
Jimmy doesn't throw down
Not too
all
often.
that much.
Yeah.
Bam's in trouble. He throws down some big ones.
Well, I'm glad the mood is high because this is a legitimately sad story coming up next.
Oh.
Worst of the Week nominee goes to two grown-ups who stole an autographed basketball from an 11-year-old.
That's pretty damn low.
This is low
They were
stuff.
grown-ups? Is that for sure?
That's what the news story says. I mean,
God, for some reason I thought they were like teenagers. Not that it makes it better, but teenagers are dumb.
Yes.
This is grown-ass man. That's
Teenagers are dumb. They make mistakes.
Yeah.
But grown-ups are also dumb, but they do it on purpose most of the time.
Yeah.
Ellie Hughes, though, an 11-year-old, is a huge Grizzlies fan. She's been going to games with her grandfather since she was 5 years old. She took the same ball to every game, got it signed by all kinds of players. During the past 6 years, she took it to Monday's game against the Spurs, trying to get Ja Morant's autograph, obviously a huge one for a Grizzlies fan. And these two stupid grown-ups stole it from her. Family went on the news. They asked for the ball's return.
We haven't
They're
seen
very gracious about what happened, saying, hey, it could maybe be a mistake, which, fair enough, I guess it could be.
Somebody just took it.
Yeah,
I guess.
Nonetheless, they took her ball and left immediately. Very sad to watch, but there is a happy ending because Ja Morant found out about this via social media, got in touch with the family, brought Ellie and her family back to Wednesday's game against the Spurs. She sat courtside, and after the game, Ja hooked her up with his jersey that he was wearing when he dunked on Jakob Poeltl, and also the shoes that he was wearing, the new Nike Ja 1s. Signed them both. Great stuff from Ja. Great stuff from Ellie, but still give her ball back.
Yeah.
I mean, she still wants the ball,
Two
I'm
guys
sure.
out there. Hey, look, we'll make you a deal. All right? You get that ball back to that little girl, we'll get you a no-dunk shirt.
Not a chance.
Signed by nobody. No signatures.
We'll give you a no-dunk shirt, and then we'll take it right back.
I'm just trying to make a deal here. It's a negotiation, man.
They don't deserve it.
No, but what I'm going to do is I'll say, yeah. Oh, actually, we'll get everybody to sign the shirt or sweater or whatever. Say, give the ball. I'm going to take the ball from them. Boom, I'm gone.
Okay, I do like this.
See?
I like this now.
Screw them.
All right, so that's a big time worse.
That's a big time worse.
I think that one's got to take the win, but
at least, like you said, Ja Morant, one of the good guys, man. A lot of these NBA guys, especially these superstars, they're next level with fans. But he is
cool,
like,
yeah.
I don't know if it's like we always just see it, but it feels like every week there's a story of Ja Morant hooking fans up with shoes or so and so. I don't know. Right?
He gave his jaws to a little boy previously, right? And like he broke down into tears immediately.
Yeah.
So touched by it. So
Fans
Ja
for life.
says, I pretty much love to do that. So
I would like to think I
Very
would
cool,
too. If
yeah.
I was to be a superhero.
Yeah,
It's like,
man.
you're a superhero to these kids. It's awesome.
all right, let's lighten the mood back up a little bit here. Our last work of the week nominee goes to whatever happened during a game on the Kings Jumbotron this Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I sent this in. I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is weird.
The game is called Duck Dive.
Okay.
The contestant is allegedly named Kevin.
Okay.
He's wearing a bright red wig and a Kevin Herter jersey.
Right.
When he hops in the mini pool filled with rubber duckies trying to find 3 different colored duckies, he just swims and flails. He is not searching for these ducks at all.
Yeah, that's the important part. He's supposed to be finding those red duckies. I can see it, Kevin.
He's just spinning
What
his
is he
body.
doing?
He's just Scrooge McDucking this here. The announcer is like, hey, you gotta be looking for the ducks. Are you even looking? The crowd started booing him. He did so poorly.
Now, see, was this a bit?
Was this a bit?
That reaction from him at the end made me go, it's a bit.
You thought he was in on it.
Yeah, because what is he doing?
What is he doing?
He's literally swimming around in the ducks. Not
would be fun.
at all trying to find the red ducks. He's not even trying. And like when he does that look at the end, like, oh, what? You know, why are they booing me? I was like, and then you add on the Herder wig and the headband, and his name is Kev, and I was like, maybe this is the King. This is a very weird King's bit. Possible?
Definitely possible. I personally can't say. You can give me worst of the week because I got fooled by a Hawks kiss cam bit.
Oh, yeah.
Literally, that was the worst I felt the whole week.
If it's a bit, it's a very strange bit. Yeah. I mean,
the King's duck guy here?
If the Kings are in on it, like,
yeah.
He's obviously doing a bit for himself. Maybe he's like a performance artist or something.
For a second, at 1 second, I was like, did they tell him? They tell him, hey man, this is King's duck dive. Like, you gotta like swim around to find them. You can't just pick them out. Yeah. Like he was almost. This makes no sense, but maybe I'm trying to find a reason. I think it's a bit, man. I know I'm so jaded.
It could easily be a bit.
Yeah.
Well, I don't get the bit then. I just don't get it.
The bit's like the crowd going, "What are you doing?" You
it's just like to rile up the crowd.
Yeah, I think.
We've got Philip here in the stream team says, "I was at that game. We all booed him after."
Well, yeah, that's the response they're looking for. I don't know why.
Yeah,
but Elvis is right. What's the bit?
What's the bit?
What is it?
Just go and be crazy and get the crowd angry at you, and maybe it's a cost-saving thing. They're like, I don't know if we can afford this one. Just
what was the prize?
Just go out there and
I don't know what the prize was.
Swim around.
It's like a weird bit, like for so many reasons, because it's like, I love, like, you notice, like, he is spilling out all these yellow duckies.
Yeah.
Because he's swimming in them. And, like, the rest of the staff that works on the game ops, like, they're throwing them all back, right? They got to clean up this mess in, like, 20 seconds before the game resumes. Yeah, it's strange. I guess, put me down, it's a bit. It's the weirdest bit going.
It's a weird bit.
But now I sort of like it.
Yeah. I saw another duck dive later this week. I just found him.
Okay.
Just found him.
So doesn't that lead you to believe that they decided, let's switch it up here? Like, maybe. I don't know, man.
So.
What are we talking
Maybe
about?
so.
All right, a lot of nominees. These are great nominees.
Yeah, those are your candidates. Dasani Water, Dwayne Dedman, Thieves, and the King's Duck Guy.
So it's the Thieves.
It's the Thieves.
Yeah. I mean, that's the worst of the week.
But
the other ones are also great. Hey, let's throw in one more, too. For me. Okay? Worst of the week nominee for me. On yesterday's NBA Midseason Tiers podcast, this is the second podcast we did yesterday. I told people when I tweeted it out, hey, save it for the weekend. This thing's 2 hours plus. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have some time to kill on the weekend. You could have some fun with this. But we're ranking all 30 teams once again into tiers, championship contender, all the way down to your tankers and stuff like that. I said something along the lines on this podcast, how difficult and rare it was for a team to be out of the playoffs 1 year and then the following year, like, make a really long run in the postseason. Like, let's say go to the finals or something, because we were talking about teams like, you know, the Cavs and stuff like that. So I said that thinking, hey, good point, Skeets. Very difficult. Norman on IG, he reminded me very kindly. It wasn't like, hey, you idiot. He said, this has actually happened the last 3 seasons where a team didn't make the playoffs and then were in the postseason the next year and went all the way to the finals.
Warriors.
And I was like, holy crap, the Warriors last year in 2022, the Suns in 21, and the Lakers in 20. It's not rare at all, apparently. So thank you, Norman.
All the time now.
Thank you for fact-checking me on that, putting me in my spot. Now, look, the Warriors, there's no Klay Thompson all of the year before the championship run. You know, there's that. There's no Chris Paul on the Suns the year before that one. You know, I'm making excuses now, but he's right.
He's right.
It's not that rare, at least recently. so we'll see if that streak can continue. Will we have a team that didn't make the playoffs last year go all the way to the finals? That will be very difficult, I feel like, this year, because a lot of the teams, even the Cavs. Well, the Cavs
made the play-in, but they didn't make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, but
that's your best bet.
Weren't the Warriors in the play-in?
That or the Kings.
The Warriors were in the play-in the year before their...
Warriors were in the play-in, lost to the Lakers when LeBron shot for the middle basket.
I guess if we don't count winning your way in from the play-in to the 7th or 8th, then that's making the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
So who could it be?
Kings.
Sacramento Kings.
Sacramento Kings,
Going
they
to
have
the
not made
NBA
the playoffs for a while.
That's a great call. Wow. Watch this Cinderella come, baby. I can't wait. Thank you, though, Norman, for fact-checking me on that. We got to take one more break. When we come back, pick 'em results, tweet of the night, and rapid-fire fun. If you rang in the new year with someone special and 2023 will be a new chapter in your relationship, Indochino is ready to help you look your best on your big day. With a variety of customizable details and fabrics, Indochino can help you create anything from made-to-measure blazers and suits to a custom tuxedo, all with no tailor necessary. I've got my sister-in-law's wedding coming up in May. It's finally happening after years of being canceled because of the pandemic and stuff like that. And I'm in the market for a new suit because I have suits and they're fine, they look okay, but I think they're getting a little too tight. And I feel like if I'm gonna be out there on the dance floor, like cutting it up, like something's gonna rip. So it'd be hilarious, but I also don't want a ripped suit while I'm dancing at my sister-in-law's wedding.
Yeah, that's a good
because I get down out there at a wedding. So
You drop it low?
hell yeah. So it's back to Indochino for this guy. I custom ordered a short sleeve sort of dress shirt last summer. It was a banger. I was getting compliments on it left and right. So back to Indochino I go. Gives you everything you need to create a custom suit that's right for you. Shop online by setting up your measurement profile and choosing the fabric and customizations you want. If you prefer an in-person experience, I get it. Human touch. It's nice. Just book an appointment at an Indochino showroom and work with an expert style guide to take your measurements and walk you through your options. And then you just sit back and you wait while your suit is made for you and it's delivered straight to your door. If you're ringing in 2023 with wedding bells ahead, either your own wedding or one where you have zero responsibility like me and just need to kill it on the dance floor, start planning your custom look with Indochino. Go to Indochino.com and use the code NODUNKS to get 10% off any purchase of $3.99 or more. That's INDOCHINO.com. Promo code NODUNKS.
Copy here says a lot of guys want a better sex life. A lot. More like all. Show me a man who says his sex life is perfect. I'll show you a liar. We all know guys like that, right?
Yeah, man.
And up to, but we don't hang out with them. And up to 50% of men have symptoms that get in the way of wanting or enjoying sex. That's 50%. So if that's you, you're not part of the minority. You are part of the majority. And Roman is here to help. Roman is the digital health clinic for men, addressing a variety of sexual health needs and offering genuine medication that helps achieve and maintain your sex goals. For instance, in men with low T, I didn't know that's what it was called, getting testosterone levels back to normal. Low T, get it up to high T. If you get it up to normal levels, that can help increase your libido. And I think this is cool. Roman offers a testosterone test, which includes lab processing, and if it's appropriate for you, treatment for low testosterone. Complete an online visit detailing your symptoms and medical history. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will review your information and make a personalized treatment recommendation. Roman will ship your treatment in discreet packaging with free 2-day shipping if prescribed. At Roman, no waiting rooms, no hassle, just straightforward experience from the comfort of your home. And if medication or testing is appropriate, we'll send it directly to your door, everything within 2 days. To learn more about how you can achieve your personal sexual health goals, go to ro.co/athletic to get 20% off your entire first order. Go to ro.co/athletic today.
Guys, let's talk about Athletic Greens.
Yes!
It's a pretty cool product. Says it right in the copy there. If you're looking to get better gut health, more energy, or have a stronger immune system in a really easy, natural way, you gotta check out Athletic Greens. With one delicious scoop of Athletic Greens, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. And I personally was super diligent about taking my AG1 Athletic Greens in the weeks leading up to my big trip. I went to Europe, 16 days. I was not going to get sick before or during that trip. Everybody else in this family, sniffles here, fever there. They all went down. Me, It was like wearing a shield, a protective coating over my immune system, my body, because I got nothing. I spent like 4 hours in the Winston Churchill war rooms. My family outside hacking and coughing, waiting. Where is this guy? I was like, it was great. It was awesome, and thank you, AG1. And I'm not a multivitamin guy. I don't want to take pill after pill. Have you seen people take handfuls of pill just all at once?
Yeah, that's me.
Really?
Yeah, no problem.
How?
I don't know. It's like my superpower. I'm pill man.
Amazing. I'm impressed.
Okay.
I'm impressed.
It's really weird.
Me, I'm a one sip. One sip. Athletic Greens, you don't need to do that. It's an elixir. You put it in water, shake it up, drink it down, you scull it, you chug it. And it makes you feel great. Did I mention that it supports better sleep quality and recovery and mental clarity and alertness? Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition, especially heading into the cold and flu season. We're well into the cold and flu season at G Greens. It's one scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/nodunks. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/nodunks to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance.
All right, back with you boys. I know we didn't have a chance to touch on last night's games, and there were some good ones. SGA with 37. Thunder, hot, baby.
Hot.
I'm happy we put them in the play-in potential category,
That's right.
the greatest tier on yesterday's podcast in the afternoon. They beat the Sixers. We had the shorthanded Heat beating the shorthanded Bucks last night by 6. Celtics pulled away in the fourth. They beat the Nets. Siakam had 35. Raptors beat the Hornets. I just want the Raptors to play the Hornets every night, and we'd be easily in the 10th seed. Watch out, baby.
First 3-game win streak of the season for the Raps.
Yes, that's
huh?
right. That's right. Rubio returned to the Cavs. And like I said, Dame had 50, but they lost as the Cavs got one there on the road. And then Luka, I mean, this game was drunk. The Lakers-Mavs game, he hit big three-pointers a couple times. We had a controversial no call on Troy, don't call me Tony Brown. It was the official said, hey, high five. It's not a foul. You can high five, but was there body contact, all that. But they won 119-115 in double overtime.
Double OT. Yeah. The thing I mostly took away from Mavs Lakers is it felt like everybody was complaining about the refs, even, going down to the last no call. But also Luka hitting 2 threes to send it to overtime twice. That's pretty cool. That's how you stay on the MVP leaderboards.
But stop letting this guy shoot threes at the end of games. Just
he does want to do that.
Foul wall right away. Like, why are you doing that? So some pretty entertaining games there for a Thursday night. One of them was that Celtics-Nets game. I took the Nets to cover. I was wrong. I'm struggling here in 2023 when it comes to our picks. I'm 3-6 with that loss. Task got it right 4-5, and you are hot. This guy drinks a lot of water, but he's hot right now.
Yep.
7-2 is your record. There it is. You gotta cool yourself down. You're so hot. Or maybe don't, man. No, don't.
Picks are already in.
Oh, this guy's confident. Tonight's game, we're going with the Warriors-Spurs game, which is in the Alamadome. That's right. We're setting a record tonight. NBA record, 63,000 plus. I think it's gonna tick up higher even as we get closer to the game. It might get to 65,000, which is wild. I mean, this is going to be quite the scene. But Tass and Trey, that did not scare them from taking the Warriors to definitely spoil this party in San Antonio. Big line. They got to win by 9 or more. But I'm taking the Spurs, baby. This is their Game 7 championship title game here tonight.
Yeah, I'll admit I forgot that was this game.
But will it matter?
Well, maybe, because A, the Warriors bad on the road to begin with, and now they got to go shoot in a gigantic dome?
Yeah, cavernous.
Yeah. I'm just hoping they have a little bit of a bounce back after a disappointing performance in Steph's return.
Yeah. Let's hope for the sake of 63,000 plus, though, that it is an entertaining game.
Yes.
I know you got the Warriors, that's your pick, but like, it'll be a little deflating if the Warriors beat them by 25 or something.
Yeah.
That's why I'm taking the
Agreed.
Spurs. It's going to be close. I don't know if they're going to win, but it's going to be close. You got to give that home crowd of 63,000 plus at least a good show. So that's tonight's game. Good luck to everybody. All right, let's get to tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
JD, tweet of the night.
Yeah, I have tweet of the night. I'll try to make this quicker, running long. I have this thing where I look at Twitter whenever I have tweet of the night. So once in a blue moon, really. This one's it is NBA related because this caught my eye yesterday. It's an account I follow that's actually NBA related.
Okay.
NBA film tweets. You guys heard of this?
Yes.
It pops up every once in a while. It's Jimmer Fredette just asking. This is back in what 2011. So whoever runs this account, they just dig deep,
right?
And they have a collection and they just throw it out every day. I think they're pretty consistent. Anyway, Jimmer Fredette saying, "Has anyone seen the new movie Tree of Life with Brad Pitt and Sean Penn? I've heard mixed reviews." And I'm going to go see it tonight.
Again, this is 2011.
This is
Jimmer
2011. It's Terrence Malick. I started watching this movie maybe, and it was whatever. It's
I watched
Malick. Is it? Did you like it? I mean, I think I got through maybe the first 20 minutes.
I think I saw this movie in a theater.
Wow.
It was a hyped up movie.
It was, and it was. I remember it being quite a long movie too, especially for 2011. I know every movie's long now, but I didn't hate it, but I definitely didn't love it, and I was not telling people to go see it.
Right. Okay. Well,
I guess I was entertained enough. I don't. Yeah.
I'm sort of curious to see if Jimmer liked it, but also, who cares? But anyways, I just went for a deep dive, so I grabbed some of my favorite tweets from this account. So these are very random. The first one's from Seth Curry. This is August 12th, 2012. I only argue music, movies, sports with a select few people. That means I think you are well informed and respect your opinion.
Wow.
God, I'd love to argue movies with Seth Curry because then I would know that he respected my opinion, even if we disagreed. So, I thought that was kind of cool.
What do you think you would say to him as your first opinion to convince him?
Ooh. I would say Tree of Life. Not great.
I respect that.
Next one is from Sean Marion. Watching Casino. Watching Casino now. The mob is so serious.
Yes?
Sure is.
That's awesome.
A fantastic movie.
Yeah,
though.
great movie. Great movie. Next one. The Adjustment Bureau. What made a lot of waves in the NBA world when it came out. We've got Garrett Temple saying, gotta see The Adjustment Bureau with Matt Damon. Steve Nash checking out The Adjustment Bureau. Nate Robinson. The movie Adjustment Bureau was just great movie. Hashtag classic. Hashtag word act.
Oh, yeah.
Tyson Chandler. At PF Chang's with friends and fam, then headed to the movies to see Adjustment Bureau.
What the hell?
Jeff Green watching The Adjustment Bureau. And then Chris Bosch, this is from 2 years earlier. I just met Matt Damon. Cool guy.
Wow. Dude, NBA players love Matt Damon.
I guess so, right? And I remember that movie sort of making a splash, and I saw it in the theater. I was like, okay, fine. It's a Philip K. Dick, science fiction. It's fine.
It's fine.
All right, next one. Kevin Durant. I love this one. Randomly, August 19th, 2009, Spock as a little kid would beat the hell out of Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. Like, what the hell? What? Like, I mean, it's right. It's very accurate. It's 100% accurate, but why?
How did he get to that?
I don't know. He must have been watching Star
kid?
Trek 3, The Search for Spock, where we see... Well, hold on. We see Spock as a child in... I don't know, in one of the reboots, right? Maybe?
I think you're
but
right.
Anyways,
What's that got to do with Macaulay Culkin and Home Alone?
Like, if it was at Christmas time, maybe, because it's on the brain, Home
You said
Alone?
this is middle of the summer.
It was August 19th. Anyway.
These tweets really paint the picture of what Twitter used to be, too.
I know, I was thinking that, too.
It's like, we just used Twitter like we used the old Facebook
the status.
It's like, here's a thing I'm thinking, like I'm doing in my day-to-day life.
Yep.
I'm just going to tell the world.
Yeah.
And it's sort of changed.
There were no threads back then, it felt like, except for this one.
What?
Michael Thompson. He's an older player.
Click
I
that.
love this. It's a series of 2 tweets. Ghost in the Shell? Is Hollywood running out of movie ideas? What? ... is ... that? Next tweet. I've heard of turtles in a shell, Ninja Turtles, but Ghost in the Shell? Huh? I mean, I love it. I love this kind of stuff. Okay, next one.
Well, there's more. Oh my god.
Yeah, KJ McDaniels. I got a couple.
Okay.
KJ McDaniels. It's just, I love this because he's in high school, obviously. This is 2011. It's just me, Willie, Bernard, Darrell in class with no teachers. We popped on the movie Jaws.
Twitter from his BlackBerry.
That's so
amazing.
great. And what a great movie to put on. And the last one, I love this more than anything. It's Meta World Peace. He's just saying, okay, so Little Shop of Horrors, my favorite movie. Yeah, I said it. What are you going to do about it, huh? That's it. That's the tweet. And respect, because it's a great movie. Rick Moranis. He's great.
These were, you found all these, or these were all from NBA?
Those are all in the, I just went deep into the, I'm not looking for, I can barely find one tweet on one night.
True.
Yeah, so this was just in the thread, but worth a follow. What was it called? NBA film.
So how do they do it? They literally have to put every NBA player name and movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow. Well, good for them. That's a fun account. Great tweet of the night there.
funny.
Great tweets of the night. Going way back. I recently watched the I don't even know if I'm going to say it correctly, but the Banshees of Inisherin.
It's on my list. I haven't seen it yet.
Is it good?
It's not what I expected at all. I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a lot more. It has funny moments, but I thought it was going to be a lot more funny because it's like a tragic, dramatic comedy. I think is how it's pitched.
I've seen it been called a black comedy for sure.
It is. It definitely has elements. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it. But again, it's a movie where I don't think I'm going to be like, you got to watch it. You got to see it.
Well, it's probably going to be nominated for stuff.
It was definitely nominated for a Golden Globe or two.
It's the same guys that were in Bruges, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Running it back. That was a funny movie.
Yes, you're right. I liked it. Nora was not as much of a fan.
Sounds like it's not very good.
No, I mean,
you're not giving it a glowing review.
Well, hold
when
on.
you like something, you like something.
It's a feel-bad movie, it sounds like.
Skip.
Yeah, and it's
I feel bad enough.
It's an
sometimes.
art house movie too.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it depends how you feel about those type of movies.
Yeah.
Like
Sometimes I'm into it.
Yeah. Go check it out if you want. I would. You know what? Here to credit the movie, or I don't know, is this a positive or a negative? After the movie ended, I'm sitting with it going, it's got a weird ending and all that, but I'm like, wow, what is this? What does this movie say?
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough to figure it out. And after doing a little bit of reading, and I won't give anything away, I was like, oh, that's the metaphor for this movie, and it made a little bit more sense. Okay, so then I was like, oh, I liked it a little bit more after that.
Usually, if I'm Googling the movie after I see it, I'm into it. Like, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah.
Which there may be some of that.
Anyway, let's hear from everybody. You like that movie, The Banshees? Let me know. Okay. We're almost done here, but we got some rapid fire fun. Yeah, there's only 3 of us. I can ask the questions and answer them too. I already did it before. What's the big deal? Everything I'm going to say, I've already said 10 times before on this podcast anyway, if you've been keeping track. So let's get to it. First one, it's actually from Mr. Sadistor by way of Twitter. This was a great question. This week, the Heat made the most ever free throws in a game without a miss. 40 straight. 40 for 40. Wow. What's the most impressive thing you can do without consecutively messing up? Trey?
I don't have a good answer.
No?
No, because I more often consecutively mess things up.
Oh.
It's hard for me to keep doing the right thing.
Over and over?
Yeah, it's like, I'm thinking, I bring my water bottle every day and then I leave it here sometimes.
Do you drink, I don't know, what is that, a liter of water every day?
At least.
That's good.
Okay.
Every day you do that?
I mean, I drink this thing every day. Sometimes twice.
Hold on, is that a goal? Like you're like, I'm not going to bed until I drink that?
I'm just freewheeling it out there.
Okay.
Freestyling it, keeping that throat satiated.
One of my New Year's resolutions was to drink more water. Wow. So I actually have to like force myself, like I want to take down 32 ounces of water every day. So I fill up the jug and we got to get through that. And so, like 11:59 some nights, I'm chugging away.
Wow!
I'm kidding,
Okay.
but like I do have to be like, that's the goal. Let's get that in me.
Do you put it in your little app?
Yeah, of course I do. That's insane.
You put drink water in your
Drink
app?
32 ounces of water.
Why don't you break it up throughout the day? Like, drink a
No,
glass of water.
there's apps for that.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
our guy Wendell does that from Survivor.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually.
But no, I just put drink 32 ounces of water, and then it's a nice feel-good check when I
Nice.
do it.
Sounds cool when you do it. I love the sound of your to-do app.
Yeah, it does sound.
No, it
very-
changed.
What?
Yeah, I updated it and it went away. I can't find it on the
That
setting.
sucks.
Yeah,
Like Mario.
yeah.
Satisfying.
It was fun because you shook the phone and it would do it. Yeah,
That was cool.
It's off. I can't turn it back on. But anyway, that's your answer for you. I'm answering
Thank you.
for you.
I
drink a lot of
appreciate it.
water.
I didn't have a great answer, but you're right. I'm a compulsive sipper.
You like liquids.
I love liquids.
So do I though, but water. Yeah.
Yeah. I like water.
I mean,
You know what? I'm getting into the habit of liking water more and more.
It's like chapstick, though. You drink a lot of it, then
You
then
get
you're-
thirsty and
get
thirstier.
more and more
Great
thirsty.
point. And then I gotta go to the washroom more and more. Yeah,
Well, there are worse things you could be addicted to. That's for sure.
you're right. JD, what is the most impressive thing you can do without consecutively messing up?
I also had not a very great answer.
That's a
here.
tough question from
There-
Mr. Sinister.
It is a very. Rachel's like, I told her about this, and she gave me a very not suitable for this show or work or anything else thing. But so I'm not going to say that one. Maybe come to our live show, buy a VIP ticket, and I'll tell you what it is. But all I have really is joined a pickleball league. First game was on game was on Monday night, and I got 4 serves in 4 in a row, like aced them. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Like that's it.
Aced them in the sense they didn't return them?
They returned one, but I kept the serve myself for 4 points,
Okay.
which I was pretty proud of. That was a milestone for me. So
you go.
That's all I got. It's
And pickleball, you gotta. That's an underhand serve. Like
yeah,
below your waist,
you can't
right?
do it overhead.
Yeah, it's gotta be below your waist.
Yeah, and I bounce it like a little baby. I'm like Happy Gilmore coming up, like I like to almost take a run at it. And, it's not pretty.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you're playing pickleball tonight.
Yeah, no,
You're not.
no, I'm not.
Well, your wife yesterday caught me between shows warming up some
she's
food.
trying to recruit you.
Oh, she is definitely. She's laid it on hard. She's like, we got to get you out there Friday nights.
You made the mistake of telling her you played
Oh, I
pickleball
know.
once.
Yeah. I'm coming.
Okay.
I want to see how good she is.
She's pretty. She's good.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
is
yeah.
good.
She's elite.
It's gonna be so cold tonight, though.
Oh, you play outdoors.
The thing tonight. Is
Oh
outdoors,
yeah,
so
you're not playing outside.
Yeah.
All right. So some serves there on the pickleball court.
Yeah.
I struggled with this one too. Why did I put this in? But I went with, and this is not a brag, okay, at all. But like, I got decent hand-eye coordination. I can juggle, and I could juggle for a pretty damn long time without screwing up. Just 3 balls.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing crazy like your 4 or 5 balls. But like, I mean, if we had real juggling balls, like, I could just do it. It's just like once you can juggle, it's like just like it's the toss, right? You're just throwing it right to the hand. So juggle.
Wait, can you
That's
do?
impressive,
can
man.
you
I can
do
only
knot
juggle like 3
balls?
jugs.
Can I do what?
Like knot balls, like pins or knives or.
Yeah. Oh, knives? No. Pins, I could probably do. That would take a second to get the timing of the flip down.
Flips.
If you can do pins, you can do knives.
But I can do. Well, I shouldn't be doing that.
That's what the
I'm
real
not
jugglers
recommending
say.
that anybody
Yeah.
do that, but I'm just saying.
You can do pins, you can do knives. Pretty similar.
That's a good T-shirt for jugglers right there. Juggle. I'll go with that. All right, next one here. We talked about it. The Spurs have sold 63,000 plus tickets for tonight's return to the Alamadome game against the Warriors. A figure that will set the NBA's single game attendance mark regular season, because we were all at. Correct me if I'm wrong. We were all at Cowboy Stadium,
Yep.
2010 All-Star Weekend, when they had over 100,000 people packed into that thing for the All-Star game.
Jerry's World.
Jerry's World in Arlington.
Was that the first event that was held there? Like it had just opened.
It was,
right?
yeah.
It was brand new.
I don't know if
Felt
it
like
was
it
the
was
first.
brand new.
So I guess the question of this is, besides a sporting event, because we were all there, which I had forgotten about on yesterday's podcast when I said my buddy Grish
Right.
held it over me for my entire life that he was at WrestleMania 3 with one of the biggest crowds of all time. We beat him by like 30,000.
Step your game up.
I mean, I can't believe I forgot about it.
Might
But
as well
anyway,
just go to the Alamadome.
yeah, right. What's the largest crowd you've ever been a part of besides a sporting event? Trey.
I don't know numbers-wise, but feel-wise, we went to that Kanye West free concert in New York City.
Oh, yeah.
All-Star Weekend 2015. And it was like 3 city blocks of people just packed in.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold.
Yeah.
And it was awesome.
It was awesome, though. There was that one bottleneck where
big bottleneck.
I was like, this is not fun.
It was a tight
Where are
squeeze.
these people going?
Yeah.
We are going to get pinned up against that glass. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that was...
There was a ton of people going.
Yeah.
Everybody trying to get to the same place. Nobody really being able to move. Brought out Fetty Wap.
We never saw this. Did we see the stage ever?
I don't know. I mean, maybe we saw like a board, like a Jumbotron
Yeah.
or something like that, but we didn't see much. We heard it.
We heard it.
Yeah. There was a lot of people there, though.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
Good answer here. What about you, JD?
I remember you guys being almost shell-shocked coming back from that. You're like,
I'm not like some people, obviously terrified of large crowds and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I don't really care. But like, when you have that many people trying to like go it was trying to like, because they had so many barriers up and stuff,
Right,
and there's
yeah.
way too many or way more people than they probably thought. We had so many people trying to go one way and so many people trying to go the other way through this super narrow, like a building, and then all these barriers, and it was like, I remember it took like 20 minutes to get
Oh,
through
yeah.
like a 10-foot area.
yeah.
Because
this
it
was
couldn't move.
outdoors, too.
It was
and
outdoors, yeah.
freezing. That
Yeah, it
really
was cold.
Really
Yeah.
cold.
Super cold.
Anyway, my answer, I looked it up. I thought it was a larger crowd, but in 1991, I went to the Reading Festival in England,
Yep.
and it was 60,000. So
It's a lot.
it's big. It's pretty big. But the interesting part of the story is that I went on day 2 because my friend worked with the guys who were in Blur, and they were in the afternoon. It was just as their first hit had come out or whatever. But the day before, Nirvana played 40-minute set, and I wasn't there for that. I'd never heard of
Wow.
them. This was in '91. But anyways, big crowd, great. It was like late August in Britain, beautiful day, and but I had missed Nirvana, and then I wasn't really interested. De La Soul played, I saw them, I saw Blur, and then James was the headliner. I left before James. I don't like James.
That is on fire with passionate love.
Oh, that's I
Yeah.
didn't know who you were talking about there.
Yeah,
for a second.
these are very old. Iggy Pop the night before, Sisters of Mercy.
So you looked it
90s.
up, eh? You looked up the.
I looked up the
set
lineup,
list,
yeah.
The playlist.
But I don't remember any of the. I remember De La Soul because they were like hip hop within all these sort of
Yeah.
grungy artists. But anyways, Miss Nirvana, big crowd, 60,000. That's the end of my answer.
Okay. I went with a music festival too, because most of the big crowds I've been a part of are sporting events. Osheaga, probably, but it's not even that big. But I was struggling to think, like, you didn't go to SARS Fest then,
No.
JD? No, I didn't either. That would have been the answer.
Yeah.
How many did they have up in Downsview Park for SARS Fest way back in the day in Toronto? It was a lot.
Huge.
It was
It was
huge,
massive.
huge. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't go. So I'll go with Osheaga, which is in Montreal. Great music festival, by the way. Awesome location. It's where they have the F1 race. It's on the island there.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a really great spot. All right, final one. The Wizards are doing a Kyle Kuzma bobblehead night, complete with the oversized Pepto pink sweater, the white toque he has on, the classic look. Like, I think we have a photo of it here. Apparently it has
we don't.
we
forgot.
don't? Okay. Well, it's got swingable arms.
Bobble arms.
Bobble
kinda,
arms
yeah.
on this bobblehead. So the question is, what iconic piece of clothing or accessory would you like to see featured on your very own bobblehead? All right.
Or like a bottlehead, am I right?
Oh, so your bobblehead would be holding a 1 liter Yeti.
Yeah. I don't know. What
Canteen.
Is this, 32 to 38 ounces.
And what is it, like burnt orange?
Yeah, burnt orange.
I do like that color. That's nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's so similar to a basketball. I have it.
Oh,
You know, when I sit down and I have my Wilson Jet Evolution in the front seat with me, they look almost identical. The bobblehead would have to have some kind of feature where it just falls out of my hand, but then shoop, you can pick it back up. Oh yay! Shoop.
That's what bobbles.
Yeah, that's what bobbles. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, good answer. I like that. That's what I'm looking for here, JD. What about yours? What's that distinct feature?
Basically wearing it, I got my toque, my glasses,
Yeah.
something Canadian. But of course I would have to include my my custom-made
yeah.
Air Force Ones.
Signature shoe right
The
there.
beaver and the Salad King logo.
So you'd be wearing those.
I would be wearing those on my bobblehead. I don't know what else. Either that or like a house coat and like a back brush, as if I was about to go have a bath,
Oh yeah, yours would be in a bath.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
In a bath.
In a bath.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah. With my feet sticking out with these.
That's cool.
Yeah.
With your hat on, your glasses still works.
And
Perfect.
then this is what bobbles. The feet.
No, your dong bobbles. Come on.
Oh, that too.
Okay. I will go with. Remember, we have that graphic or those photos made. Somebody did bobbleheads for all of us.
Yeah.
We sometimes use them when we do our ad reads or whatever. But I think I would go with. I just have to wear like a Good Morning Sweet World shirt. And now, who made those?
I think Stefan Vasilev?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
I believe that is correct. He, for the Good Morning Sweet World, took the globe and made it into like a sweet, like a candy.
Right.
We should make shirts like that. But yeah, that would be featured. It would have to have Good Morning Sweet World somewhere on the bobblehead. Maybe mine's a talking bobblehead. I press a little button and says, Good Morning Sweet World.
I love it.
Ooh,
I love it.
Cool.
Let's build these. Let's make them. We're doing everything. Now that we've hit 60,000 subs, like we are naming arenas. We are making bobbleheads.
People didn't know we were waiting for 60K, but we had
It's
a
a really
lot
big
of
deal to
plans.
us, yeah. It's a big deal for one day until we start telling you we got to get to 70,000.
70's next.
That's right. But thank you. That's Rapid Fire. That's the Drop Podcast. Thanks to Mike Prada for swinging by, talking about his book, Spaced Out. Again, there's a link in the description of this show. Click on that. Grab that book if you're an NBA sicko or even a casual. You'll learn a lot. You'll become a much smarter basketball fan, so check it out. Yesterday, we dropped that NBA Midseason Tiers podcast. It's 2 hours long. We're talking about every single team. We're ranking them all. So again, if you haven't listened or watched that one yet, you got all weekend to enjoy that. It's pretty evergreen, at least for, I would say, a week or so. No dunks on Monday. Little programming note. It's always weird when I read that. No dunks. No. Yes. Mutombo on Monday here. No dunks. We're going to take it off. Enjoy the MLK Day full of basketball. It's on all during the day. So we'll be watching hoops. We'll be back on Tuesday to recap a lot of those games, talk about the biggest NBA news. So back on Tuesday, January 17th, I think. Sounds crazy.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like feeling like January's already over. But that's when we'll be back. But this is fun. On that Monday, there will be a brand new Is This Good podcast.
We're back.
With Big Waz from the Ringer NBA show. He's talking with Matty O and JD about a number of topics. So that's on Monday. That'll drop. Is This Good? There's also a link to that, to the YouTube, in the YouTube description of this show. It's got its own podcast feed. So search out Is This Good with Matty O and friends. And that drops on Monday. It's been a while since we've had an ITG in our lives.
Been a little bit.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear Big Waz. He's got takes.
Oh, yeah.
He's got opinions on everything. I love it, so that should be fun. Guys, thanks again for joining us. Thanks for the 60,000 subs. We'll see you at 70,000. Till next time, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, and remember, Toscanini once recorded a piece 65 times. You know what he said when he finished? It could be better. Think about it.
Brace the weekend, people.